Hello everyone, welcome to Finland, a nation that doesn't exist. But if it did, it would be a land of mostly forests and lakes, with a sauna around every corner, a funny language, and of course, alcohol issues. That, for whatever reason, is the happiest country in the world. So ladies and gents, if you ever needed the secret to happiness, all you need to do is drink obscene amounts of alcohol. And today we'll be taking this power into the world of Sid Meier's Civilization 6, with one simple goal in mind: to go from this to this, with our handsome looking leader, Mr. Gustav Mannerheim, who stares straight into your soul should you look at him for too long. His unique ability allows us to fight very well defensively. Too bad, we will be on the offensive. Our second ability, on the other hand, is a lot more powerful. +1 culture and production from unimproved forests and lakes. The start of the game is very simple. We need to explore, because we need to locate our targets, because you can't kill what you don't see. We very quickly found a tribal village, giving us access to a relic, which allowed us to get a Pantheon at record speed. We of course picked a settler for an extra city, because an extra city means extra population means extra production means extra science, culture, faith, gold, and most importantly, an extra city means extra places to build an invasion army from. We also unlock a governor very early on, and we will be going with Magnus, who will allow us to build settlers faster and without losing population, a very powerful bonus which will help us especially later on. It appears we have found Jadwiga, the quote-unquote King of Poland, during the last years of the 14th century. She engineered the foundations of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, which was a major power in Eastern European politics all the way until the end of the 18th century. Surely Poland is gonna be an easy target, right? They've always been getting pushed around by stronger neighbors, right? Oh no. We can found a religion, and obviously, we will name it after the only god that a Finnish person knows: vodka. For our beliefs, we will be going with first of all work ethic, for that extra juicy production in our cities, and Gurdwaras for some extra housing and population. Mannerheim has done such a good job running this empire that we enter into a golden age. We are given 4 choices for dedication. Free Inquiry will give us extra science from our commercial hubs and harbors, which we have a grand total of none. Pen Prussian Voice gives us a little bit of extra progress for our civic inspirations, and also gives us a little bit of extra culture from districts. Monumentality gives us the ability to buy civilian units with faith, meaning we could buy settlers and builders. And finally, Exodus of the Evangelists gives us some great profit points and a few other useless bonuses. Out of these 4, we really only have one logical choice: settler spam for the win. We will now.
Would you be interested in a trade agreement?
We will now.
Would you be interested in a?
We will now.
Would you be interested in a trade?
We will now.
Would you be interested in a trade agreement?
No! Getting constantly spammed with trade requests made me truly embrace being Finnish, angry and done with everyone's bullshit. But in a not so Finnish way, I decided to act on it by turning the Geneva Convention into a Geneva bucket list. First order of business: crossbowmen. A medieval era ranged unit will allow us to wreak havoc on our enemies. Totally by coincidence, we also denounced Russia. Sorry Peter, it was an accident. Yep, totally. Don't worry about it. Sorry, my Toveri. But you were getting too close. And if I know anything about history, having a Russia on your border is never a good thing. If possible, I would have the several meters thick concrete wall on the border. But because that's not possible, I chose the next best option, also known as wiping them out of existence. Destroy the threat before it becomes threatening. Their cities rapidly fell to our advancing crossbowmen. Their mere archers are no match to our superior Finnish military might. On another note, our golden era ended, and we're back to the average state of a Finnish person. And they built walls. Not to worry though, we'll just point our crossbows at a slightly higher angle and shoot over the walls. Bet you didn't see this coming, Peter, did you? Not everyone is a fan of our military conquest. Well, actually nobody is. But they don't really have the methods to stop us. What are they gonna do? Point their slightly sharp sticks at us? While I am in the process of inventing gunpowder? Didn't think so. Mr. Harold, I think you might want to get your eyes checked, because I have a single privateer to my name. Wait a minute. Ah, I see. Or rather, don't. The Civ 6 unit system has progressively more advanced units in a few different categories, those being melee, ranged, recon, anti-cavalry, light, heavy and ranged cavalry, siege, and the list keeps going. For example, a melee unit's normal evolution path is warrior into swordsman, into man-at-arms, into musketman, into line infantry, into mechanized infantry. Every higher tier of the unit is gonna cost more to maintain, and in a lot of cases also require an additional strategic resource. Therefore, we need to locate sources of every strategic resource in order to build more units. As for neither, we have some fairly close to us, allowing us to get that going immediately. Ah, another golden era. Time for more monumentality spam. Our good friend Norway is also in a golden era, as it turns out, which is quite ironic since this golden era will be their last ever. I also like to call it a golden opportunity to die. Wait, where are there two Moscows? Is this my doing? Was my desire to conquer Europe so strong that Peter invented a way to travel into other dimensions and somehow managed to bring the second Moscow here in hopes that it would save him? Anyway, Russia is gone, but our thirst for blood is not. And our armies are already on the line with Scythia. Unfortunately, they also have walls, which means our conquest will be greatly slowed. Norway, on the other hand, will die quickly. We have also put large metal poles in barrels and are now shooting them out with very rapid speeds, a very efficient method of dispersing your enemies. Alexander, I don't think the biggest issue with my nation is the government. I am quite literally invading your neighbors. How about you sit down and keep crying? We've also reached tier 3 government reforms, and well, listen, I am no fascist, but +4 combat strength is +4 combat strength.
Drop it.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's a Boeing B-29, one of the most famous bombers of all time. Which, well, is actually a plane, I guess. So it is a plane. Wait, why is it flying straight towards us? Oh god, run! And to build these bad boys, we need aluminum, and lots of it. Now to locate the sources for it, we have some here, 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 and here. Wait a minute. That's in Persia. Much better. Having improved all the aluminum sources, we will also activate the policy card called Resource Management, which gives us 1 extra aluminum and oil from all our improved copies of them, giving us a 50% increase to our aluminum and oil production. Now, we shall continue our conquest, but this time, we will be throwing a ridiculous amounts of bombers at our enemies.
Yeah.
Liberate the Netherlands? No thanks. To an uneducated eye, it might look like our conquest has sped up, and it in fact has, in terms of in-game time. In real time though, things keep getting slower and slower. And don't even get me started on when I'm trying to occupy a city. It takes way too long, and I for one, am getting tired. Oh look, we researched nuclear weapons. Excellent. But in order to build one, we first need to get 52 kilograms of uranium isotope 235 to reach the critical mass of it to get a nuclear chain reaction large enough for a massive explosion. We'll need to find and secure deposits of uranium, which we already own plenty of. We make a few builders to improve them, and we have a steady source of uranium.
Nice.
In an actual nuclear bomb, we cause the explosion by effectively bombarding the uranium-235 with free neutrons, which forces the uranium nucleus to split into two smaller nuclei, barium and krypton, while also releasing more neutrons at the same time. These neutrons will then hit more uranium atoms, and the process accelerates, and the result... Unfortunately for us, uranium-235 makes up for only 0.72% of naturally occurring uranium, while uranium-238, which is completely worthless to us at this point, makes up basically the rest of it. In order to acquire the required amount of uranium-235, we need to enrich it by separating isotopes using one of the following methods. After successfully enriching the uranium to the point where it's around 80% uranium-235, we can build a bomb. For the bomb itself, we will separate the uranium into two subcritical pieces. So there will be, let's say, 26 kilograms here and 26 kilograms here. The one on the left will be fired down a barrel like a gun, starting the nuclear chain reaction and causing a big explosion enough to annihilate our enemies. Yes, Jimmy. All we need to do is select the Manhattan Project in a city, and Civ 6 does it all for us? Well done. Alright, we now have a nuclear bomb. But where are we gonna test it? Perhaps here, in the northern wastes, where not a single soul lives? Nah. Perhaps in the ocean? Nah. We will test it in Budapest. Perfection. Onwards to more destruction. I mean friendly assimilation. Yep, that's what it is. Don't mind the millions of corpses behind me. They're just very enthusiastic members of a cult dedicated to sleeping in a large pile and then setting themselves on fire. Yep, that's it. Don't question it. Hungary, in a move of tactical genius, decided to keep on fighting until all of their cities were turned to literal dust. Alexander, my buddy, have you heard the saying, actions speak louder than words? Well, I for one am a man that follows this philosophy. Now taste my napalm. Another one bites the dust and gets grinded to sawdust. Ah, good, we unlocked jet bombers. Now our firebombing campaign can continue at twice the efficiency. Also, Suleiman, no miracle at Warna this time to save your onion hats from being turned into a meal. So you remember how we unlocked nuclear weaponry and immediately used it to destroy our enemies? Did you know that there is an even more powerful bomb than a standard nuclear bomb? Let me introduce you to the thermonuclear bomb. See, the bomb I explained earlier uses a process called fission, also known as splitting an atom. A thermonuclear bomb, on the other hand, gets its energy from a process known as fusion. We take two atoms, a whole lot of heat, and merge them into one. But Pritik, you might be asking, don't you need immense amounts of energy to heat something? And you will be right. That's why, in a lot of thermonuclear bombs, a fission bomb is used to get the required heat for fusion to happen. This fusion process is also what happens in the cores of literal stars. So by using this process, we are essentially releasing a tiny sun on our enemies. Exactly what we need. But there is one more weapon to be unlocked. A weapon even more powerful than a thermonuclear bomb. A giant death robot. You take some steel, you take some uranium, slap it all together, and boom! You now have the embodiment of death in your hands. It shoots, it jumps, and most importantly, it takes cities at a very rapid pace. Alright, I'm tired, and because we have even more weapons of mass destruction on our hands now, we're going to declare war on the entire world. Die, die, die. Oh, wait, that's everyone. We're already at war with almost everyone. And as our first act in this war, we'll drop a little gift off at Lisbon. Congratulations, people of Lisbon. You are the first lucky people to witness my thermonuclear bomb. The people in the city were so happy that they passed out from happiness. And now civilization thinks the population dropped. What a silly game. The smarter military prowess is now in the same state as the modern Greek economy. 6 feet under the ground. I did value actions speak louder than words, and there will be no more words or actions coming out of your mouth. London bridges have truly fallen down, never to be rebuilt. Another one. The game at this point is barely even functioning. This is what one turn looks like. It's still going. it crashed. After swiftly opening up the game, I looked around the map to identify my targets, and I saw a truly terrifying sight. Something so horrible, it could end my entire run in the blink of an eye. The problem is that there is a city in Ireland. Truly horrifying, I know. If I don't eliminate this threat now, I will grow to regret it. Alright, I feel safe now. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, I have been continuing my conquest. I have vanquished the Great Roman Empire, and I only did it in a few short turns. No several thousand years of slow decay for you. Die. Dido is trying to oppose me with all of her military might.
Finally, a worthy opponent. Our battle will be legendary.
Who knows who will come out on top between just the guy and the person who founded Carthage, one of the greatest Mediterranean powers during the ancient era. Well done. I guess the Biremes were too weak against literal walking death robots. Are you kidding me, Dido? And then there were only two left, the Iberian brothers, Spain and Portugal. Would they be able to save the world and fight against the great Finnish horde? The answer, they cannot. The Spanish have been sent on a permanent siesta. Surely they will have a great time. And then there was one. The Portuguese Empire, my favorite Eastern European country, an empire that once ruled over vast lands in Brazil and controlled trade routes from Indonesia to the Americans. But sadly, their wealth cannot fight against a nuclear bomb, which was dropped on them years earlier. As you might remember, city by city, their forces quickly disintegrated in the face of the mass invasion. Seville, Funchal, Evora, Porto, Leiria, and finally, the last city in all of Europe opposing Finland and the handsome face of Mannerheim. Lisbon, a city known for... a city known for a bunch of Portuguese stuff. And now, it'll be known as the last city that Finland conquered. And it has been done. From the Ural Mountains, well, kind of. There's actually nobody living in this area, to the Atlantic coast. Everyone, except the city-state, but that's also a technicality, don't mind that, has become Finnish. Now, we can all drink and be happy together, the way our God intended. Well done.